Hello and welcome to this pre-MRMW event interview. It's an absolute pleasure to be joined by Mr. Rick West today. Rick, thanks so much for joining me. Would you first of all like to tell us about yourself?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for the invitation. Really looking forward to the conference and meeting in person and seeing the folks there. Yeah. So my background, I'm a CPG person. So I started out with Procter and Gamble, worked there about 16 years. Spent some time in the States as well as Asia, a little bit of time in Hong Kong and Thailand, and most of my work, as you can imagine, coming from P&G, was spent with a shopper. So back in 2001, started a shopper marketing agency, and as we continue to do more and more work with retailers and CPG companies, realized the need for technology to enable us to do things. And so in April of 2010, launched Field Agent, which was the first app in iTunes that allowed people to collect data, and really started utilizing crowdsourcing in this space at that time. So that's kind of where I am. Currently today, I'm a mobile researcher, a mobile technology guy, enthusiast. I'm on the board of MRMW from that standpoint, so pretty excited to be talking to you today to talk more about mobile technology.
Awesome, and let's do that. So obviously you're attending MRMW. I want you first of all tell us what you know about MRMW, and obviously it's conference season and it's a busy time for researchers. So why is it that you and your company are attending this event?
Yeah. For me, if you think of folks that are listening today, especially those that attend the conference season, right? You have 6, 8 different weeks in the summer that you have conferences happening all the time, and there's nothing wrong with a conference that goes broad. But what I really appreciated about MRW is that it's focused, and I love the focused approach to that. And so I know not only from an attendee coming or those that are presenting or the type of exhibits I might see, you really do have a focused approach to it, and I appreciate that. And you don't see that too often these days. And many times people try to appease the masses, but I think when you come to this conference, you're really going to have an intense, focused, approach to it, and I really look forward to that aspect of it.
Awesome, and it's my understanding that you're going to be presenting a paper at the event. I'd love you to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when you think about my world from a technology standpoint, especially when it comes to mobile, location is really, really important. And related to that location is this concept that we call point of influence. And it's really important for researchers or marketers or brand folks to understand that the closer you get to the vine, kind of using an analogy that people would use in the healthcare industry, the closer you get to the actual impact of the product on the person, or the closest you get to the impact of someone engaging at the shelf, the better that insight's going to be. So what we're really going to bring to life is the understanding that while methodologies may be decades old, technology enables you to embrace that same methodology, add some life to it, and more importantly, actually be able to get a different type of insight because you're actually engaging the person truly at near real time of when they engage a product or they engage a service, such that the insights are much more robust. So we're going to give case studies so that folks understand what that's about, and more importantly, when they leave from a practical standpoint, they'll have tips and tricks on how to use methodology today to make that come to life in their own work, whether it be a researcher or a receiver of research.
Okay, awesome. And I remember we had a little bit of a chat before this interview, and you were telling me about how there's kind of 3 steps to, is it 3 levels, did you refer to it as, in a purchasing decision? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Right. If you traditionally over the last, I'll call it a couple of decades, people have engaged this concept called the first and second moment of truth. The first moment of truth is really associated with the purchase decision. Once you make a decision to purchase something, that's that first moment of truth, that wow, this is while I've purchased that MacBook, or I've purchased that that particular cup of Starbucks, whatever it may be. The second moment of truth is really associated with consumption. I opened the MacBook, it was amazing, the packaging was great, there's something about the experience, I open it up and it just works. Or I'm at Starbucks and I have the cup of coffee and I have it and say, man, it's amazing, it's really, really good. That's that second moment of truth to really understand, was that successful from a product standpoint? Recently, over the last 5 years or so, Amazon, Google, and others have said there's also a 0 moment of truth. And that's the decision that you and I, Jack, that you and I would actually spend saying, before I even go to a retailer, before I even go shop for something, I'm going to engage online either via social media and engage my friends to find out what they think about the latest iPhone, or am I going to go Droid, am I going to go iPhone? Or I actually go onto Amazon and look at 5-star ratings. There's a concept of a 0 moment of truth. Well, from a research standpoint, we want to make sure that our technology within Field Agent, the mobile research technology we have today, enables you to efficiently touch people at that 0, 1st, and 2nd moment of truth, to the point that you can even do a diary study that will carry you throughout in a very efficient manner. So those are terms that researchers have begun to embrace and understand, but more importantly, we've created tools that allow you to engage in each one of those moments throughout the life cycle of someone truly making a purchase all the way to consumption.
Okay, cool. And so if we can talk more generally about mobile within the industry,
Yeah.
within market research, I was speaking to a researcher just a couple of days ago, and they tell me how they saw mobile. We're kind of in a mobile revolution, if you like.
Yeah.
Would you? I suppose I'm going to ask, would you go along with that? And where do you see mobile within market research? Is this just the start? Have we got a lot more to look forward to and to explore?
Yeah, two approaches to that. First, I'll leave you with a great quote that we came up with a while back that was based on some research that as mobile phone users or mobile technology users, you are never more than 6 feet away from your phone. So think about it, Jack. At bed, you use it for your alarm. You're putting an OtterBox on it so you can be in the shower and stream Pandora or Spotify. You're in your car. It's connected to your car. It's probably next to your arm right now as we're speaking. So because of that, mobile is not a technology or a technology play that's going to go away. Mobile is going to be ingrained across all methodologies. So when you hear people talk about, Qual or Quant in mobile, it's not really Qual, Quant, or mobile. It's how do you use mobile during Qual or during Quant. So it really is. It's a thread that's here to stay. The second thing associated with that, I think the thing that's going to be interesting in the future. How do you utilize mobile, not only outside of the phone, but can you use it in the car? Wearable technology, is that going to allow me to understand someone's heartbeat? So when they're looking at something on the shelf, I can see if their heart rate goes up or down. Are we really going to deal with Google Glasses and it's going to tell me about eye tracking and heat mapping? I mean, those are new aspects of technology that's going to help us. But it's still on that same thread of mobile because it goes where you are, Jack. It's so important to understand that it's where you are at the moment. And so making a decision about a purchase or using, actually during consumption, mobile allows a researcher to get into your life, and it's not intrusive because I'm not there with a clipboard. I'm not asking you, can I stand beside of you and watch, which is really, really weird. I'm just simply asking, while you're multitasking and you're texting, and you're checking something and someone else comes back in, simply also give me a piece of information at the same time. And so for millennials and the matrix revolution that's coming through, that whole part of society, it's just second nature because it's what we do. Mobile is a part of our life. So I think it's going to be here to stay. It's not going to be considered mobile 10 years from now. It's going to be a part of what we do.
That's interesting. And just to go back to what you were saying before there, are you then saying that mobile doesn't necessarily mean mobile phone? We're just talking about a mobile technology that obviously is mobile, so you take around with you, and you gave the example of Google Glass. Is that what you're saying there?
Yeah, well, so the reason it's relevant for mobile phones is that there's 1.75 billion smartphones out there today. There'll be 2.5 billion coming up. And Jack, and you know this, you're never anywhere without your mobile phone. So because of that, when I need to track or ask you or to engage you in a certain way, you're more apt to respond to me with your phone as opposed to logging into a computer or filling something out, because that's a hassle. It's second nature to flip over, answer 3 questions real quick about what you thought about this webinar today.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rick, I can't wait to firstly watch your presentation, and I think there's going to be a lot of great kind of mobile content that's going to be presented at this conference coming up. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today, and I really look forward to seeing you at the conference.
It's my pleasure. Look forward to it. Thank you again for having me.
Cheers, Rick.